What's up YouTube? Welcome to episode 100 of the Chaos Daily. Nice special episode today. We're going to go maiden my plane. Let's go do it. Right, let's wait for a wind gust and then we're going to chuck it. Alright, here we go. It didn't explode. I'm actually surprised. Prop is fine. Oh, there's some crack through here. I could probably chuck it again. Alright, so the issue was
the tail came loose.
The tail came completely loose. I haven't super glued that.
Yeah.
So she was just all squirrely.
Yeah.
I had aileron control. I had pitch control when it was in the right orientation. So let's get out of this mud. Get back over there where it was drier. Yep. Alright, let's try this again. It's still gonna go. We will fly it till it is in pieces. The problem I'm having is the ruddervators are they keep binding up, they keep sticking, they keep catching. So whenever I give them input, they don't go back to a neutral position. See how they stop at different places? So I'm fighting this when it's flying. So let's give it one more go and see how it goes. There's a big crack through the fuselage between the shoulders of the wing and on the underside here. So this will either rip apart in the sky or it'll fly. All right, here we go. Nah, lost full control. Dead stick. That's the motor. This is why I put the battery under the wing in the safe place. In case this happened, I wouldn't destroy my battery. Right, I'm happy with that flight. I would call that a successful flight right up until the point when the elevator decided to bind. But man, this made quite a bit of credit. I mean, it's pretty wet and soft, but all right, let's back it up and go home. All right, so it's in pieces. But it flew really nice. It flew nice. Right up until the elevator lost control and I lost signal or something. It was dead stick, no input, and she just went straight for the ground. And yeah, so we're just heading back out into the field with a bag to go pick up all the tiny little pieces because it was obliterated. But I'm actually happy. It's destroyed. Like, it sucks, all that work. But it flew. I had control. It was flying really nice and straight. I didn't have to give it any pitch authority or anything. It was on rails. Started the first bank as I was going to bring it around, and that's when it lost control. So yeah, so I brought it around for the bank, and then it started going a bit nose down, so I gave it some pitch up, and wow, it is wet. And yeah, it just kept going nose down. I was full pitch up, and it was just straight down. So I don't know if my dad caught it on camera. He was tracking it nicely, I think, up until the point where I started banking, and then he just couldn't, keep track of it with the sun on the screen and everything. Very hard to see. So yeah, we're just going to try and pick up as many of these pieces as we can, and I've learned a lot from this. So on to the next plane, the Monogle. Oh boy, it's hot out there. All right, so let's get that off. I can see. It's in pieces. Can you see that? Barely, just barely. It's in pieces. I mean, it survived kind of okay. I'll see how much of it I can salvage. I'm gonna pull out the carbon fiber and stuff that I can. The motor is wrecked. The battery is fine. I took a tiny bit of impact on the side here, but generally the airframe, the fuselage did what I intended it to do and act as like a crash cage, a crumple zone. So the expensive battery would survive, because I wasn't sure. That's why I designed it there with the battery under the wings. The cause of the problem was either the elevator, ruddervator combination sticking, not doing what it was supposed to be doing, which is potentially what it was, or it could have been where the receiver was positioned underneath the battery here. So the receiver antenna was just under here with the receiver sitting here. So when it was banking around in front of me, the battery was in the way of the antenna. So it could have been a loss of signal due to the battery shielding the antenna and not getting signal, which is more likely because it was so good. It felt so good. It was on rails, and I got it to start the bank to bring it around for the loop. And that's when like it came around, and then it just started going down. Loss of signal, something, I don't know, I had no control. So I knew from that point when it started going down, I was like, oh crap, oh well. So much, what can you do? You lost signal. I mean, I had it full elevator up, all the way down, throttle down, and it just, so yeah. I learned a lot though, especially to do with the tail and the way that's set up. The new plane that I'm designing is the wing, so that's going to be no tail, EDF. So I'm going to take everything that I've learned from this. I'm not calling this a failure whatsoever. It flew. I had control of it. I'm calling this a success, even though it shattered into a million pieces. The motor is dead, but I'm going to try and salvage all of the carbon fiber I can out of it to use for a future project. But yeah, we'll call it a day for that. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Do you call that a flight, or do you call that a crash? I mean, a crash, but would you say that qualified as controlled flight? The first flight that I had where I had to sort of crash land it and we developed the cracks through the fuselage. I mean, the fact that it flew the way it did with cracks and everything through the root of the aircraft, the root of the wing and down the underside of the fuselage, and it was still flying. I mean, I got control of it after I threw it, and it was just beautiful. All right, I mean, okay, I'm rambling. Okay, we'll leave it there for today's episode. We'll come back tomorrow's episode, and we will talk about what is going to happen in the future. As you can see, the printer is going. The printer is printing. That is the aft EDF section for the new monogol, the wing aircraft, the EDF wing. That's already printing. This is in pieces, and I'm straight onto the next plane. I'm crazy. So yeah, we'll leave it there. All right, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe. I've already said that. As always, I'm Chaos, and until next time, expect the unexpected, and I will see you guys later.
And a special thank you to all my patrons that help support the channel. If you would also like to support the channel, there's a link in the description.